All right, I think we are on, and hello everyone. Look, I know that my upload schedule has been a bit erratic as of late, and that is mainly because I have been very busy in a number of things, one of which is the creation and manufacturing of my debut puzzle that I designed myself called the Chalice of Osiris, and I'm going to give you some sneak peeks into it today. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of background of what I do other than puzzles, just so you can see a flavor of why it takes me so long sometimes to get videos up and such. Not that you guys are waiting for it, but I just thought you might want to know. Reason I'm Doc Hitchcock is because I am a doctor of genetics. I actually am the chief scientist for a company, and so one of the reasons I wanted to get this video crudely put up today, as you can see, I'm in my workshop in my house trying to get some stuff done before I head out on a long trip to Australia. And I'm going to be there. We're launching a technology that I've spent about 10 years developing, that I can't talk too much about some of it because it is research and development and proprietary and all that, but it's something I'm very proud of. I've published in peer-reviewed medical journals on the subject of this, and if you're interested in more of that, you can go check out my science videos. There's a link in my YouTube channel page that talks more about the stuff that I do that is not puzzle related, if you're so inclined to know. Additionally, I wrote this book this last year called Rebooting the Biome. It's a kind of a slash book tour going in, and I'll be signing some of these over there. We've already done a lot of that here, and it's really cool because it just recently hit #1 in dermatology on Amazon as far as bestsellers. So it's kind of a point of pride for me. It took a long time to write that. Regardless, you're not here probably to hear about that. I just thought you might want to hear some flavor about what I do that's not puzzle related. If you want to hear more about that stuff, put a comment in the comments section below. Please be nice. Thing is, I know science isn't for everybody and it can be boring to some people, but I'm very passionate about it. And if you guys want me to do more stuff around that, I'm happy to do it. However, what you really probably want to see today, if you clicked on this, is that I wanted to show you a prototype of the Chalice of Osiris. And I've kind of given it, I'm going back and forth, and so I've been talking with a few people about how I could possibly make all metal versions. I have a whole thing over here, a whole setup where I've been learning to electroplate plastics like 3D printed pieces and trying to make them coated with metal, which gives them metallic not only look but feel. It makes it heavier. And so here's an example. And so this is, maybe I should say first, spoilers. I'm going to show some pieces. I'm going to try to choose pieces that are not going to give away any of the parts of the puzzle. But anyway, here's a 3D printed part made of PLA. And then here you can see this is an electroplated in copper. It's not the same exact part, but similar part. And you can see that, well, you can't see, but I can see that this is heavier. This is notably heavier. Maybe at some point I'll like measure this stuff for you guys so you can see, but you can actually hear, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the difference is because this is literally plated in copper. And then from here, I can actually plate it in other metals too, like nickel or chrome. And so my initial thought was that I'd be plating it in chrome, but there are certain parts of the puzzle that I do want to machine out of metal because I want them to be robust so that you can solve them over and over again. And we all know that 3D printed parts can be a little bit fragile sometimes, and there are quite a few mechanical gears and such happening in this puzzle. And I'm not an engineer, so I taught myself how to do CAD and 3D printing everything specifically so I could do this puzzle. But regardless, I went ahead, did the design myself. It's why it took so long. And it's not 100% there yet because I want the finishes to be high-end. But the problem is I'm having to kind of choose between high-end finishes and price. And so there's been a lot of discussion on the puzzle boards and such about prices of puzzles. And there are lots of puzzles out there that are limited edition, and they are very expensive because they're art as well as puzzles, and they're made of wood or metal. There are some that are made of plastic, a couple of which I've solved, particularly by Philip Black, where he's charging upwards of $1,000, $1,300 even for his latest one. Excalibur, which I believe last I saw, number 19 came out, and he's doing upwards of 99 of those, but right now there's very few of them on the circulation, and there's not a lot of them being sold. And so some might argue that's why they can drive the price, because the rarity or the craftsmanship. It is a wonderful puzzle. And so I'm having to decide, do I want to get a lot of puzzles made for a lot of people and charge a relatively low price, but it's also a lower quality, meaning it's all plastic? Or do I want to make it to where lots of, or fewer people can get it, and it's more high-end metals, high-end finishes, very, ornate, and yet will not be as accessible? Because I, as a puzzle collector and solver and lover, know that it does irritate me when puzzles are so expensive, and it's the whole reason I started this channel, is because I wanted people that just will never be able to see some of these puzzles solved. I wanted them to be able to solve them through my eyes, because I just felt, I can't buy puzzles for everybody, but I could solve it for them, which for some people that's enough. They just want to see the cool solve of a cool puzzle that they probably would never invest in. I'm struggling, and I would love to hear comments. I know there's going to be disagreements as to, some people are going to want the high end that can afford it. Others are going to say it's not fair. I would like you to make a lot of low end for everybody. But this being my first puzzle, I am anticipating that there's going to be some amount of trial and error when it comes to making sure that, just like when you look at some of the Jesse Bourne puzzles, and there's a lot of people that find that there's some quality issues where pieces fall off, and Jesse's very good to fix those. He did with mine, my sundial, which I made a video for, I just never posted it, where I found that there was a piece that was I could hear it rattling throughout the whole process of solving it. Turns out it was never supposed to come loose. And he fixed it for free. Kudos to him, but that's the type of thing I'm worried about, is that I am a full-time scientist, part-time puzzle solver and designer now, I guess, and I don't have the capacity, not yet, to handle a whole bunch of customer service and such. So it's likely that the first run is going to be quite small, meaning probably 20 or less. And I'm probably going to make it to where some of those are reserved for people that have been following me on my channel since day one. Maybe not day one, but have been following me for a long period before August of this year, when I announced the puzzle, and I did get a lot of people all of a sudden commenting on videos then. But it's going to need to be people that have been, really supporting the channel and supporting me as a creator. All the details aren't figured out yet. I'm open to all sorts of ideas. I did put up a post of this, and I got quite a bit of interest, it seemed, where it looked like over 100 people were interested in more information. And so I don't know what that will translate to as far as sales, and I'm sure it's contingent on the price and the type of puzzle, the way it looks. And so right now I'm going to give you a sneak peek. If you looked at the video, if you haven't watched the video yet, the teaser trailer I put out a couple weeks ago, go ahead and take a look at that. And at the very end, if you didn't click off before the finish of the video, you would have seen at the very end there's like a little glimpse of the puzzle, one of the prototypes. And now I'm going to show it to you in full light. And hopefully you guys can appreciate, and I hope you guys like it as much as I've liked creating it. But of course, we're not going to solve it today, so there's no spoilers here. You don't have to click off if you don't want to see spoilers. I'm not solving anything. I will show some of the features, and it is not 100% done yet. There's probably going to be some additional stuff done as far, there's definitely going to be some additional stuff done as far as some of the artwork, carvings and such, and also the gems are temporary on this one. I'm still deciding how I want them to be set into the puzzle so that they're not going to be falling out and such, because I really don't want that type of thing to happen. So I'm going to have to find a way to make sure that they're set in there pretty well, probably with metal. And so right now I'm working with a couple of people that can help me to put out some or machine some metal pieces. You're probably telling me to shut up now and just show me the dang puzzle. So here you go. So this is a prototype, and keep in mind this is only one potential finish. I have a couple over there as well, but I don't want to show those because there's some pieces off and it shows you some of the mechanisms. But this one in particular is the one that I showed in the video that we had put up a couple weeks ago. And so this is made in a bronze patinaed finish here, and then this up here is actually copper. And so another one would be chrome the whole way through. One of them is chrome over there. That one is almost ready to show, but not quite. And as you can see, there's these gems inset here. We have some gems down here, and this bottom part actually turns. For what reason, I shan't tell you quite yet. But you can see that there is some, hieroglyphics of sorts on some of the panels. What those mean, maybe somebody will find out at some point. And then it's an actual chalice. So actually you could put liquid in here and drink it because it will be a metal chalice. So yeah, so I'm not sure that this is the finish that I liked. So I'm trying different aesthetic finishes, and this one didn't quite meet what I was hoping it would as far as the aesthetic. I do like the aged look, but I'm not sure that I like the bronze patina, or maybe I need to make it all bronze with patina, or I'm not sure. So the other thing is these gems here that are temporary, these are going to be inset and actually inside of the puzzle, because this was a recent addition. I just felt like it was naked here. These gems here are actually inset inside of the actual puzzle, and so are these up here. And so I'm going to do the same with this down here. However, that's it. That is your sneak peek. I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to ruin anything else. But I'll tell you that this is a nice, hefty puzzle. I mean, it's not hefty. It's the size of a chalice. So if it's closer to me, my wide angle lens here is making it look bigger when it's close to the frame. But I think you'll find it's a lot of fun to solve. And I hope when I put it out into the wild, as much as I've enjoyed creating it, you guys will like it, because I think I'd like to do a series of goblet puzzles, and it starts with Osiris, and I already have designs for the second one, and then I have a third puzzle in mind where I'll be doing another Egyptian themed puzzle, but this one will be more along the lines of a chest that is left behind, and you have to figure out what the contents do and all that stuff. It'll be more of another adventure type puzzle. So anyhow, this one is sequential discovery, the Chalice of Osiris. It has maybe around 16 steps, depending on how you count the steps. And it has a definite goal with lots of tools and things to find along the way. I will stop there because I got to go pack, because in a couple hours, I'm going to be getting on my flight to Australia. I'll be there for 10 days all over the country and New Zealand. And then I'll be coming back, and then I'll be heading right to London about 5 days later for about a week. Then I'll be back. And then I go to a conference in Austin to give a talk or to take place in a panel at the Science of Skincare Summit. And then I'm going to come back and take some time off and really work on this puzzle to crank out, see if I can get the manufacturing up and running. And so in the meantime, we got about a month starting now, to where you guys can really help me by telling me your thoughts on how you would like to receive it, whether you'd like a higher end finish or you're okay with a lower end finish. Regardless of the finishes, I'm going to make a puzzle that works reproducibly, hopefully every time, that'll be quality. And so it's not going to be cheap no matter what, because it's just the amount of work that goes into producing the puzzle. But I'd like to keep the price low. It really just depends on what people want. And then also, maybe for the first run, I don't make it limited, but I only do 20, see how that goes, and then maybe do another run after that. Maybe I just never make another run after that, and those 20 are all that are out there. One last thing I'll say is, I'm also contemplating keeping a little stash of them for trading for other puzzles that I really want, but I don't want to pay the money for. So if all goes well and the puzzles become valuable, for those of you who make puzzles yourselves and you know who you are, the ones that I've been trying to talk to, you can, if you want, start a conversation about maybe swapping puzzles. And before I go, I want to let you know that Tyke the Puzzle Beagle has been with me the whole time, helping me. He is a little upset at me right now because I'm going to be leaving him for so long. But you know what? It's how we pay the bills. Anyway, thanks everyone, and I hope the next time that you see me on here that it is for another update that tells you that a little more details about when production will start and all that. But till then, I'll see you later. Goodbye for now.